What's up, guys? How are you? Welcome into a Tuesday morning edition of the Daily Juice podcast. I'm your host, Matt Perrault, here each and every morning for the Daily Juice, being brought to you by our friends at BetMGM. You guys will find this podcast wherever you get your podcasts, on YouTube for video and on BettingPros.com each and every single morning. We are here after a 3-1 night on Monday Night Football. The over comes in for one full unit. Look, I'm going to ask something of all of you who are, if you're going to trail my bets, okay? You don't have to. You can fade whatever you want. But do me a favor. Do not write me DMs and messages in the first quarter anymore. I'm getting annoyed, okay? A first quarter means nothing, really. It was 7-0, the Ravens, in the first quarter, and I was getting people who were writing to me on the Discord channel and writing to me on Twitter, "Oh, man, the over's dead. This sucks." Really? The over's dead, huh? Well, the over didn't just hit. It cleared it by a mile. Raider games and overs. Get used to betting them. We're going to bet them for a while. They can score, guys. They have an offense. They're just going to force feed Darren Waller, too. What are the books going to do for Darren Waller targets next week? Oh, my gosh. What did he end up with, like 20? That was crazy. They just threw it to him every time. But his prop went way over. It could have hit like in the first quarter if he hung on to a couple of the passes that he dropped. But he goes over the prop for 68.5 yards. That's over. That cashes for a quarter unit. I told you just one big play for Henry Ruggs, and then he got one big play late in the game to set up that game-tying touchdown to force the game into overtime. Ruggs got it, so that was great. So we got Henry Ruggs over 35.5 yards receiving. So we go 2-0 in the props. We came back with a play on the Ravens minus 3.5. Okay, I talked about this in the latest episode of the Sharps Report with Sean Lockhart, a.k.a. Papa Bear, is going to be the guest this week. That will be out on Wednesday morning where you get your podcasts. We talked a little bit about this, but I'll talk about it now here just real quick because I learned a big lesson, and I'm kind of annoyed with myself. There were two things that bothered me. The first, DraftKings put out information that was incorrect about where the money was. They had a stat, a graphic that was out that showed massive liability, all the money on the Raiders coming in, and the number came down. So I thought that was a line move due to the Raiders coming down, and so it closed at 3. Okay, I was waiting for 3. I didn't get it. I bet 3.5. I had to teach my class. It's at 4 o'clock, so I had to bet it at 4 o'clock. By 4:30, the number, Pacific time, the number had dropped to 3. Everybody was betting the Raiders, and the books had to go to 3. They didn't want to, but they did. I'm not sure if they got any buyback on the Ravens at 3 for the Raiders, but I really like the Raiders all week. In fact, for my Circa picks, I was going to take the Raiders at +4. I got talked out of it. Nobody else wanted to trail me for the Daily Juice team. By the way, my 5 picks, if we had just played my 5 picks in the Circa, I went 5-0. And Dean Izzy can back me up on this because I posted to him. I told him, here would be my 5 picks. I would have gone 5-0. So, at least I know I'm seeing the board right for the Circa out of the gate. Went 4-1 because Washington was the team that Papa Bear, who happens to be my partner, he's the guest this week on the Sharps Report, but he's my partner in the Circa. We went 4-1 because we had Washington, but I went 5-1. I went 5-0. I didn't like Washington. We went 2-3 because we bet the Packers. I faded that with the Saints and went with Washington. That didn't cash either. And then I forget who else we had in there that didn't cash. But 2-3, I would have gone 5-0 if we just played my personal picks for the for both teams, the Daily Juice team and for the team for pushing the odds as well in the Circa Million. But so I like the Raiders all week. So I got this information. Okay, a lot of people are on the Raiders. I don't like this. Then ESPN Stats and Information comes out and says that over the weekend, 11-4 is what underdogs went, including 8 of them winning outright. If the Raiders had won the game or covered, it would have been a 12-4 start for underdogs, the best start in week 1 for underdogs against the number in the Super Bowl era of the NFL. Okay, 1960. Okay, this is a long time ago. Oh my, I hate that. So I'm thinking, okay, money on the Raiders, everyone's seeing that trend, everyone's betting that trend, let's fade that trend. So that's why I bet the Ravens minus 3.5. I had liked the Raiders +4 all week. And then I took the Ravens minus 3.5, only for a half a unit. But I took it because I thought that information from DraftKings was accurate. It wasn't. DraftKings had a mistake. That wasn't right. Their morning number was wrong. I post it every morning in the Discord channel. It was wrong. And in reality, they were heavy on the Ravens. They needed the Raiders. Here in Vegas, yeah, they needed the Ravens. But everywhere else needed the Raiders. And what happened? Walk-off overtime win for the Raiders. Which, by the way, for our over 6.5 wins for the Raiders, yeah, that's what we're after there. That's a huge win on Monday Night Football, and I've been telling you guys this. It was my favorite bet going into the NFL year. The Raiders are going to win 8 games. The same way that I sat here and told you that the Boston Red Sox were going to win at least 80 games, if not 85, 86, 87. The Boston Red Sox were going to go over 79.5 wins. They're already there. The same confidence I had going into the Raiders, where the Raiders are going to win 7 games or more. Okay, I like 8. 6.5 is what I bet, but they're going to win 8, 9 games, okay? They just won 1, and no one really thought that they were going to win that game, but they were a home dog. So in the NFL, 12-4 home dogs, and 9 of them won the game outright. How about that? 9 outright wins. It's crazy. But I'm really mad because I could have swept. If I did just listen to myself, I could have swept. We could have gone 4-0. Instead, we're up nearly a full unit. Instead of being up, we would have been up 2 units. I'm up nearly 1 unit, so like 0.9. So, okay, it's a winning day. It's a good way to end the week because essentially we end the week, the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we end up. Okay, we end up actually making money for the weekend because of the way we finished on Monday. So Friday was down the juice, Saturday was down the juice, but it was a half a unit. So we come back with a 0.9 win. So for the weekend, we're up 0.4 units. Nothing exciting, but we're winning. That's better than losing. So here we go. All right, so what are we doing today? I'm going to give you my first 2 college football week 3 bets today. To keep college football. We're 15-5-1 in college football. We're going to keep going with college football here because I want some good numbers. Let's bet it early in the week to get the best numbers. And then I've got 1 baseball bet for you guys coming up here today for a half a unit because I've got to give you something for today. I'm going to bet with you, and we're going to jump in together just because it's a baseball game, and I don't want to bet baseball. But fine, I'm going to bet 1 baseball game today. And maybe I'll come back with a prop or 2. But, man, this is the first real letdown. Tuesdays are because we don't have MAC football on Wednesdays yet. We don't have MAC football on Thursdays yet, or even on Tuesdays yet. We just don't have that yet. That's coming, but not. Our first college game's not until I think Friday this week. I think that's right. So it's kind of a bummer. But I'm going to give you 2 plays there and then 1 baseball play. Okay. So let's start with the baseball play, and then I'll give you the football plays. Okay. So let's talk about I'm going to go back to a team I like betting on. San Francisco team I like betting on, and frankly, I just think the Padres are done, and they're throwing Jake Arrieta. Anthony DeSclafani going on the other side, 11-6, 3.33 ERA against Arrieta. He just isn't any good. The Giants have won games 9-1. They got beat by the Padres the game before that, 11-1, but they've won 7-1, 5-4, 7-1. Of the last 5 games they've played, the Giants have won 4 of them. They're 4-1 against them since this swoon has started. Have you seen that the Padres are 74-69? They're 30-38 on the road. They could end under 500 this year. It's crazy. The Giants are 46-23 at home. They're just killing people. They just won 9-1 last night against San Diego. I think the Padres just want to be done. And frankly, I mean, if you look at the way the Giants are being chased by the Dodgers, every one of these games are important to them. Every one of these wins will be important to them. One, just for winning the division, but also trying to have the best record. And they've already clinched a playoff spot, but no way have they clinched the division. So they got to get after this. And, I mean, technically they could still be a wild card team if they're not comfortable. So the run line is plus money. It's plus 120 on the run line for the Giants. For a half a unit, I'm jumping on the Giants to keep the misery train going with the Padres. They're done. Their season's over. Let's just go with the with the Dodgers. With the Giants here to keep themselves in front of the Dodgers, who won 5-1 yesterday against the Diamondbacks. Run line, Giants. DraftKings has this at plus 120. You can jump on it right now if you like. Run line, Giants plus 120 against the Padres is for a half a unit is our first and only baseball play of the day. Okay, half a unit there. Let's talk about two full unit plays. Let's start with a late game on Saturday between Arizona State and BYU. Yes, I'm going back to BYU. Arizona State's on the road, BYU at home again. It's the third consecutive game for the Cougars up against Pac-12 opponents. They beat Arizona, they beat Utah. Here they go trying to make it 3 for 3 at home in Provo. Cougars are a home dog again. They were laying 7 to Utah. They won the game outright. They're laying 3.5 points here to Arizona State right now. Arizona State is an offense that's looking pretty good. They're averaging 39 points per game. BYU, their defense only giving up about 16 points per game. It's not easy to run the ball on these Cougars, not easy to throw the ball either on these Cougars, but this offense for the Sun Devils is very good. This defense for the Sun Devils is sneaky. They're only giving up 12 points per game right now. Now, part of that is level of competition. They just played up against UNLV. They didn't cover against UNLV. In fact, Arizona State is 0-2 this year against the spread. The Cougars only allow 4.6 yards per rush. That's top 100. But the Sun Devils are 18th best in running the football right now, 5.9 yards per carry. Again, it's where they're playing, who they're playing up against. But they have the 15th ranked rushing offense in college football in FBS right now with that 256 yards on the ground. They've got some talented guys who can move the football. Now, Arizona State's defense, I think, is better than people think this year, and I think Herm Edwards has a team that he thinks can compete to win the Pac-12. Sun Devils are a team that I think is flying a little bit under the radar, and I love fading teams off of monster emotional victories. BYU at home after beating Utah, storming the field. How do you get back up again up against Arizona State? Like, where are you mentally going into this game? I don't think they're going to be there. ESPN's putting the game on TV. It's a late-night game on Saturday night, 10:15 Eastern time. So it's a late-night close of your football season, week 3. But I think Jaden Daniels is a guy who's going to be able to put up some numbers here. He's thrown for 307 yards so far this year. He's completing 73% of his passes. Again, it's a level of competition, but he's got some real weapons to throw to. And I just think this defense for Arizona State is going to make Jaren Hall's life difficult. And I know that they ran the ball really well, and they threw the ball really well against Utah's defense. But there was so much emotion going into that losing streak. 9 consecutive years. They were so desperate to do that. They stormed the field. Numbers 3.5. Look, I'm taking Arizona State. Arizona State to snap this 2-game win streak for BYU. I don't think they go 3 for 3 against Pac-12 teams. I think Arizona State's the best team they've played so far, and I think Arizona State's going to show it for that matter. Arizona State minus 3.5 for a full unit. Do not buy points in college football, okay? Do not buy points in college football. Lay the 3.5. Lay the 4 if you have to. I think you're going to be okay. I don't know. I'd probably bet this all the way up to 6, okay? But, I got 3.5. Go ahead and drop it in. BetMGM was at 3.5. You can get on BetMGM here. Use the BetMGM offer if you would like on this. The BetMGM offer that you guys, it's always available to you. You want to hop on. It is available for new users. You bet $10 on any event. You're going to win $150 in credits regardless of the outcome using the promo code JUICE150. It's always above me here on YouTube to go into it. Bet $10 to win $150 on any event with the promo code JUICE150. Okay, JUICE150, $10 bet. You win $150 from BetMGM. You can use it for this game if you'd like on Arizona State and BYU. I'm laying the 3.5 on the road for Arizona State up against BYU for 1 full unit. The second play that I like a lot, and I am going to fade Indiana here up against Cincinnati. I like Desmond Ridder a lot, okay? Desmond Ridder is completing 80% of his passes. Part of it is who they're playing. Okay, I understand it. But whenever you have a program like Cincinnati that goes on the road to a Big Ten team, in particular with a team like Cincinnati who's about to go to the Big 12, everyone's watching. Everyone's wondering, are you legitimate? Can you do it? BYU just had their big win to say, okay, we're coming in the Big 12. Look what we're doing to Pac-12 schools. This is the chance for Cincinnati to beat up on a Big Ten team. And I get it. There are some stats that go against Cincinnati here in terms of taking on Big Ten teams on the road. Last week against Idaho, finally that offense showed up and Michael Penix Jr. played the way he's supposed to be playing, and they blew out a bad, a kind of a crummy Idaho team. 6-2 last year under Tom Allen, returning 17 starters, but they lost to Iowa badly. Then they bounced back and rid themselves of that bad loss. But now they're taking on Cincinnati. The last time Cincinnati played, they won 42-7 against Murray State. Okay, they didn't cover, but who cares? The Bearcats have been favored, by 3 times this season, and they've only covered one of those spreads. I just think this is a opportunity at 2-0 or I guess it would be 2 times they've been favored by 3 points. The line is 3.5. It opened at 3. It's now 3.5. I hate the fact, don't buy the point. I would much rather have 3 here on this with a road contest. But I do think that the Bearcats are going to score here. And the Hoosiers' defense is not great. Okay, we saw it with Iowa. Iowa moved the football on Indiana. I think Desmond Ridder and company, they're going to move the football a ton here. I think the Bearcats are going to force turnovers for Michael Penix. That was the big problem up against Iowa. He threw 3 interceptions. I just think this is going to be a turnover opportunity for the Cincinnati Bearcats defense. I think it's going to be probably a low-scoring game, but Indiana has hit 2 overs so far this year, but I don't think that this is going to be a high-scoring game. I think Cincinnati's going to score, but they're going to stop Indiana's offense. And look, if there's going to be a close game at all, it's going to be Indiana's defense surprising Cincinnati and trying to keep them out of the end zone. But I think Ritter's got some real great weapons to throw to. Ford's a good running back that they can go turn around and get the ball to. I just think Cincinnati's a better team. This is an early start, 12 noon start on Saturday morning. ESPN's got the broadcast from Bloomington, Indiana. I think Cincinnati's got a chance to kind of announce themselves a little bit here and put up a number on a Big Ten team and say, look, Ritter's got a chance to be in the Heisman conversation. He's not going to blow it. He's got a chance to go and put up some big numbers and show out a little bit and show off a little bit. Again, it's an early start, 9 a.m. my time on Saturday, so it's an early start time for this game. This will be the first game that I'll be watching, but 45 points per game for Cincinnati. My guess is they come in somewhere around that and do exactly what they have been doing to so many teams. They beat Miami of Ohio 49-14. They beat Murray State 42-7. I'm not sure that Indiana is much better than those teams, to be quite honest. I don't know how good Indiana is. 34-6 loss to Iowa, 56-14 win over Idaho. Again, Indiana was one of my teams coming into the year. I'm off them. Cincinnati, big win. Lay the 3.5. Bearcats on the road, beat up on the Hoosiers. Okay, so 3 plays. Run line, Giants against the Padres at plus 120 for a half a unit. Arizona State, minus 3.5 up against BYU on the road in Provo late night Saturday night. 1 full unit on Arizona State, minus 3.5. And we're going minus 3.5 Cincinnati on the road at Indiana. Road favorites, difficult, but I think better football teams going on the road. Hostile environments, but I do think they have a chance to go and showcase just based upon talent alone. I like Cincinnati. I like Arizona State laying the 3.5 points. Not big lines that we're laying here with the better football team. So I'm comfortable doing it. Those are the plays coming up here for today. My name is Matt Perrault. You guys can follow me on Twitter at SportsTalkMatt each and every morning. It's the Daily Juice Podcast being brought to you by BetMGM right here on BettingPros.com.